everyone, Orange here. Welcome to TOA Hard August 2016. We are on the final floor of TOA Hard. This is Lyrith. This is my second clear of Lyrith, my fourth consecutive clear of TOA Hard. So what I'm doing has been shown to be consistently successful. So if you guys want to do the same thing, I would highly suggest it. This team is great. As is my other main TOA Hard team. I use Arya and Vero instead of Spectra and Sig. It's a great team for TOA Hard. I use it for the majority of the levels. So that is that. If you guys want to check out my first clear of Lyrith, I will link that video in the description of this video. Everything regarding my monsters, their runes, their stats, their skill ups, are always in the video description in a link that says runes. It might even say some more things like runes and skill ups. So check that out if you guys want to see what I used. I would suggest checking it out, my runes and stuff, for the first clear. This time around it was a little bit different. So for my Sig, I forgot to switch his slot 2 rune for a speed rune, so I'm running an attack rune right now, and I think the run would have been better if I ran a speed rune. And this month I improved my Spectra a little bit, so he's more of like a damage dealing Spectra, which I think didn't really affect the run too much, so you don't have to build him that way by any means, because that's what it's going to show in the photo album. But for my first clear, he was not like that. So I decided to use him anyways. I always like to stick with what works, and this is the team that worked when I beat her for the first time, so I used it and it worked again. My splits were a little bit different, like the monster that her colors that she put out, so that'll be kind of interesting to see, and that whole strategy and stuff like that. So for this first wave, we kind of already went over it, but what I do is the only debuff I put on the Junos is my slow, because you guys know if they get a turn, they cleanse. If they have 2 or more debuffs, they cleanse them and then heal to full, which is kind of annoying. So the only thing I put on them is slow. Some other people do some different things, like they don't debuff them at all, besides Sig's stun or whatever, or just stuns in general, because Mav can possibly stun, Sig can possibly stun with his first, Beretta can with Despair, so that's kind of what they do, and then Bella kind of defense breaks or whatever, but I just slow them, and then you'll see me kind of attack bar resetting to make sure they don't get a turn, and taunting to heal myself, because Mav needs a little bit of help with those heals, so on this first wave I will be taunting and stuff like that. And also, okay, I just lost my train of thought because there was sound going on out there. So for the Annavels, what I did was, you'll see me like taunting them and freezing them and stuff like that. So kill them first and then kill the Junos. It's pretty basic. That's what everyone does. And then also, I forgot to mention, if you guys are still struggling on this level, I totally forgot about this. I always say Reddit is a really great resource. I would recommend Reddit to anyone and everyone who is having problems with TOA Hard. Use the search function on Reddit, and I'm also going to link you guys the TOA Hard mega thread down below. So the mega thread lists out like hundreds of teams that people use for TOA Hard floors. So for Lyrith, I think there's like a list of like maybe 20 teams or 30 teams or something like that people use. So if you don't have my team, your team, or a team that you have might be on that list. So check out the TOA Hard mega thread linked down below. Okay, for the second wave, what I did was I was attack bar resetting the Veros because I didn't want them getting turns and removing slows and dots and stuff like that. So I pretty much attack bar reset them. I was saving my heal for when the Aryas moved, because last time around for Lyrith on my first clear, it took me like 100 tries before I finally beat her. I was that determined. This time around, it took me maybe 10, maybe like 7, probably more like 10 tries until I finally beat her. Most of, like, my fails kind of fell everywhere. I would fail on the first wave due to bad RNG, I would fail on the second wave, I would fail on the third on Lyrith herself, so I just want to let you guys know that these floors do require RNG for most people, including me, so I don't pass these in my first try, like I told you. So most of the 90s, I think every single floor in the 90s I had to do more than once before I passed it. So you'll see me, I did make some minor mistakes here, but it's kind of important to pay attention to the small things I do. I don't have a live commentary, but there is a lot of little things that I do that makes me win these levels. So for this wave specifically, I found that it was really important to put as many debuffs as possible on just to reduce their damage and to make it so the Veros aren't like removing your dots and stuff, and just anything important like the slow. So, you know, if they have the attack debuff on them, which Sig gives, then it kind of helps out a little bit. And then I will be focusing down the Arias first because they just have so much stuff that they do to you. Like, I have an Aria, so I know, but before I didn't. So they have an AoE slow and an AoE glancing. And then my only cleanser's Mav, so, you know, I don't really want them to be alive too long to put that on me. So you kind of saw like what I did there, attack by resetting the Veros and then stuff like that. So you can pay attention to all the little stuff. And then in my last Lyrith video, I kind of, explain it a little bit more because I did it so many times, but this time around I played a little bit more loosely, so check that out if you want to hear my explanation for that. Okay, so for Lyrith, if you guys aren't familiar with her, in my last video I did like a huge explanation, so I'm assuming maybe you kind of have an idea of what she does, but basically she puts out different colors, and then you can tell what colors she puts out based off of what the symbol is rotating around their feet. So for the people out there who are colorblind, if she puts out blue, it has like an eyeball like directly under her feet. The green one for me is on the left of the screen. She kind of has like leaves pointing inwards, and then the red one for me is on the right side of the screen if we're facing the screen, and then the red one has some like flames like kind of sticking out, if you guys can kind of see that. So they each have like different things, and then Lyrith keeps the other color for herself. So for the blue one, you mainly just want to defense break it. That's kind of how you deal with it. And then the green one will steal your attack bar. So for the green and red, you don't want to really attack them unless you have them stunned. So on my team, my stunner is Sig. And my Sig is not skilled up. He has 0 skill ups, which kind of helps on the Juno floor. Because, you know, if he had skill ups, he'd be stunning stuff and it might be bad. I don't exactly know. So I pretty much time everything around his freeze because his freeze is the most guaranteed CC. So you'll see me, I'm kind of splitting my focus between the green clone and the red clone, and then I'm just keeping the defense debuff on the blue clone, which is Lyrith. Lyrith is blue, because that's important, and then you'll see me getting the attack debuff out because that's also important to reduce every single monster's damage that you're facing, all the different clones' colors. So I don't really like to say go for a certain color first. I would probably save blue for last because the blue one kind of doesn't do much besides defense break you like we see there, which can get pretty dicey if she lands it on you. You'll have to get that off pretty soon or make sure that they don't move. So the blue one's not too threatening, but then the green and red, they are, because the red one revenges you and then the green one steals your attack bar. So the green one is probably the most dangerous, so I would kill her first. If you have both green and red stunned, I would work on the green first, but you see I killed red first and then green. It kind of just depends on who gets stunned. And then you can always use the blue as a punching bag. That's a really, really great strategy. If you don't have the red one or the green one stunned, use the blue as a punching bag because she doesn't do anything. So you'll see me using her as a punching bag because Lyrith is blue. And then, of course, timing my Wings of Wind correctly. You'll have to time that when you use your big cooldowns. Last time around, I kind of got into the groove of my rhythm a lot easier than I did this time. This time around when I was fighting her, I'm like, damn, like all my cooldowns are so scattered, like when should I use Wings of Wind? And I kind of just tried to use my best judgment. I kind of just used it whenever, but I probably shouldn't have. Maybe I should have just used it when it was off cooldown and then just hope that things were syncing up. But like I said again, maybe it was because my Sig wasn't on a speedrun. I think him being on a speedrun would probably help me a little bit more on Lyrith herself, getting out more freezes. So now she's blue, and then I'm sure you guys know about all of the mechanics with her. So whenever she splits and puts out clones, she removes all debuffs on her. So you want to save your slow till right after she splits, and you also want to save it till right after she tries to merge with them. So you want to kill the clones no matter what. So in 2 turns here, she's going to try to merge and she'll stun herself. So whenever she tries to merge and uses that skill, she'll remove all debuffs on her. So you want to save your slow for that time, just so you can get as much damage on her as possible when she does that. And then I was paying attention to her cooldowns. I learned some new stuff this time around that I didn't know last time. So like the second skill, you can see it there, it's on cooldown. It's some sort of AoE thing, and I was like, hey, okay, interesting. I didn't really know about that. And her split here, like, she'll split in a while. I have to, like, do damage to her and stuff like that. When she splits, she'll split into something different, so the strategy will be different. So if she's blue herself, you just have to make sure that you kill the clones before her merge cooldown comes up, which isn't that hard if she's blue. But if she's green or red, it's a little bit more difficult. If she's red, you pretty much want her to merge because you want her to stun herself because she'll be revenging you and stuff like that. So if she's red, you kind of want her to merge as soon as possible, but you have to make sure that you kill the clones first. So you can't really like dick around. Like right now I'm pretty much dicking around with her. You know, I'm slowing her, I'm attack bar resetting her, and I'm taking my sweet old time because she's blue. But if she was red, I would not be attack bar resetting her, and I would let her merge as soon as possible because she's going to be revenging on my ass, and she's going to be doing a lot of damage to me. So I think she'll be red here in a second. And then if she's green, I would do the same thing as if she was blue. I would, you know, attack bar reset her and make sure she doesn't move because the green one does a lot of damage. And if she was green, I would have to be really, really careful about my slows because the green one gets so much attack bar, you have to be ready for her to merge and then put your slow on her right away because you won't get much time on her. So I don't think she was green. I think she was actually red for me. So we'll have to see here. So that's what I would do if it was green. Like I said, I did this floor maybe like 7 times, and I think she was green at one point, but I failed, and I'm not really sure why. So this is just the run that passed, and she happened to be blue and red. And yeah, so you guys can see she has her merging skill up, so I'm saving my slow and waiting until she uses that skill to slow her again, because you'll see when she uses it, she'll cleanse all debuffs off her. So I got to get that slow on real quick so I have more turns on her. So I'm saving the slow right there. And then just kind of waiting for her to merge. So right there, she cleansed herself and then stunned herself because there was nothing to merge with. So you will see me, I think I might save Wings of Wind here. No, okay, yeah, I saved it because, see, I missed my slow right there. So I was saving it because I was like, oh my god, if I miss slow, I want my Wings of Wind up to get my slow up. So there was a little bit of bad RNG here, but it was kind of like, you know, it went both ways. I did get kind of lucky at some points and also unlucky at other points. That's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. So finally land that slow, and then I'll just be working on her. And then also you want to basic attack her until she splits. So at the very beginning of the video, you saw me just basic attacking her until she split, and then I'll do the same thing here. Actually, yeah, I think I will. Let's actually see here. Maybe I messed up. I don't know. I can't remember what I did, but I should be basic attacking her once her stun falls off. So you'll see me just getting as much damage as possible because she's still blue. So she's, you know, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter if she's stunned. If she's stunned either way, you want to try to get as much damage off as possible. So now her stun fell off, but she still has debuffs on. Like I told you, she only cleanses herself when she splits or merges. So she's not actually going to split yet. She has like another turn. This is something new that I kind of learned that I maybe didn't know about before. So you see the skill with like the ponytail girl, that is her splitting and merging skill, and it's on cooldown right now, so she's not actually going to split it all for another, I don't know, turn or something like that. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know what the exact cooldown is. So I'm just like checking it out, and I'm like, right then I was like, hey, like I didn't know this before. So, you know, I'm just doing work on her, resetting her, all that stuff, getting as much damage as possible before she splits again, because I don't have enough damage to kill her before she splits again. But if my monsters were maybe better, I could, or if I use a different team maybe. But this is just the team that I used. So I'm not exactly sure what her second skill does. I think we'll have to see. I think she'll use her second here. I should have looked it up, but I don't know. I think her first one right there is like her basic attack on the very far left that she just, I don't know, hits you with something random. Okay, so it's the defense break one. Okay, I didn't know that. Maybe it's different for what color it is. You guys might have to check that out, but I didn't really think about it too much because it didn't matter. Like, she was going to use it anyways. There's no way you can really prevent it. So it's going to happen, but it might help to be a little bit prepared, depending on like what it is. So I don't know, it might be like a blue thing. Since she's blue, she does the defense break. I don't exactly know. And like I said, for me, it didn't matter. For my first Lyrith clear, it didn't matter. But maybe in the next video, I'll have some new insight for you guys. I don't know. So I'm saving my slow here because her splitting skill is ready. So save it because she's going to cleanse all debuffs. Okay, so she cleansed all debuffs and split. So I'm going to defense break the blue one as soon as possible and also use the blue as a punching bag. So Lyrith herself is red. So I want her to actually move because if I'm slowing her and, you know, resetting her, then that just gives her more turns until she's ready to stun herself, because, you know, once you kill the incarnations, then when she tries to merge, she stuns herself. So I'm going to be letting her have those turns, but I'm going to be a little bit cautious because I have to kill them before she merges with them. So right then I just kind of reset the blue one just to kind of get a reset on something. And then since I froze the green, I'm going to be prioritizing the green because she's a little bit squishier than the blue one and more dangerous. So I'm going to be prioritizing my freezes on the green. You'll see me working on the green one on the left. So once again, for those of you who are colorblind, the green one is on the left if we're facing them. And then she has those like leaves pointing inwards. I don't exactly know what they are. And then the blue one is on the far right, or just the right, as we're facing it, and the blue one has like an eyeball under her, so you guys can kind of see those. So once again, just working on that green one. The AoE attack debuff is pretty important to get on all of them, like I said, because it just reduces their damage, especially the red one. And Lyrith is red, so she'll be revenging on everything. And then I think there is like a right there. I was debating like what to do because I would get revenged on, and that hurts. So I'm right here, I'm just kind of thinking, I had to make some kind of tough decisions. Like you saw, I just missed my freeze, which was really bad, but thankfully the green one died to dots. And then I'm working on the blue one right now, using it as a punching bag, using my Mav stun. I typically won't try to stun the red or green one with my Mav because Mav's stun is like a little bit unreliable, whereas Sig's freeze is more reliable, just the % chance to land it. So I will generally not attack the red or green one with Mav. So you see the red one has 2 more turns, so I'm actually not going to slow it all because I want the red one to move because she's revenging me, she's doing a lot of damage. And, I mean, maybe if I did slow her, it would prevent her from using her huge damaging skill. But, let's see, do I? I think I'm just kind of thinking here. I have to kill the blue one first before she merges, though. And I definitely need to get up that attack debuff. It did get really close. I think maybe it would have been okay to slow, so she's not moving, but the attack debuff is really important. It would be nice if my Sig was skilled up, but like I said, maybe it would have been detrimental because detrimental on the Juno floor, but I don't really know. Maybe it would have been fine because he would be doing more damage. I'm not really sure. So she's almost about to merge, and then I'm going to be clearing off that defense break because I need to, because she's doing so much damage to me. And then I time it almost perfectly here, so I'm just hitting her there because I can. I'm hitting the red one. Maybe I shouldn't have hit her with Beretta, but I think it was okay. So once I get that attack debuff up, you can see she does a lot less damage, which is nice. And then I don't exactly know why I slowed there, but I did. So now we're getting into like a bad situation. My rhythm and my timing was really weird. Like I told you guys in my last video, it was like super obvious, you know, all of my big skills were off cooldown. So my Bella's heal's coming up right here. So I get a really nice violent proc and heal. Whereas I probably would have had to use Mav's Wings of Wind possibly. No, probably not. But I did get a nice violent proc there to help me heal up. So like you guys can see, like it's so, I can't really determine when to use my Wings of Wind because my cooldowns are all over the place and it was difficult, but I still managed to pull it out. So next time around I'll probably remind myself to put Sig on a speed rune and see how that goes. So then she just tried to merge and nothing happened. So I'll just finish her off here. So she's red, and since she's red, she's really squishy, but I need to land. I was like wondering, I was like, why the hell is she so tanky? Maybe, I don't think so, never mind. I thought maybe like she got blue or something like that. But yeah, I think I'm doing way more damage to her than I did to the blue one because she's red. Yeah, it looks like it. So I'll just finish her off here, and then that's it. So I'm glad you guys got to see a different split from me when she was red. And then I think this level just kind of takes time and practice, and then you'll kind of get to know like what the splits are like and stuff like that. And I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing there. And then practice makes everything easier. Like my first time around, I told you guys I did the floor like 100 times or something, so it might just take more time for me to really get in tune with the different splits and know their skills more. So I hope my video was informative though, even though it didn't go like 100% really, because I'm still a little bit unclear about some of those skills. But like I said, it didn't matter for me, and probably for most people it doesn't really matter, but it kind of does matter that you know most of what she does. So that's it for Lyrith. That's my second clear. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will catch you guys in the next video.